Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. You know, I've met a lot of interesting people in the 22.5 years I've been tracking auction prices all over North America. And right at the top of my list is 85-year-old James Gall from Reserve, Kansas. Now, I met James 2 winters ago at the International Harvester Collector Club annual winter meeting in Michigan. And James is from northeast Kansas. He's lived in the Reserve, Kansas area his whole life. And James invited me to his farm if I would ever get down to an auction in that neck of the woods. And I actually did some time ago, and had a great opportunity to visit James and his son Jim and daughter Betty at the Gall farm that was founded in 1869 by James' grandfather David Gall. Now James, actually, folks, is one of the most renowned international harvester collectors in the world. And this Saturday, April 21st, 2012, the Kansas chapter of the International Harvester Collector Club is having a meeting, a little event that James is hosting at his farm in Reserve, Kansas. And again, James is 85 years old, and this might be one of the last opportunities to see his collection of international equipment displayed. Now, James has over 117 tractors, and they won't all be on display Saturday, but some of his most rare and interesting ones will be. And James also is a world-renowned collector of old international harvester plows and also manure spreaders. Now, in another YouTube video, I'm going to show you James's collection of international harvester plows and the manure spreaders, which are totally awesome. But in this video, let's take a look at some of James' favorite international harvester and Farmall tractors, including the world's oldest Farmall F12. I understand, James, you were telling me you have another F12 that's really an unusual tractor. What is the deal with that one?
Well, it's over the shed. We can get it to come in. It is a pre-production F12, serial number 511.
So pre-production. So what is it, like an early 30s or something?
Well, some people would probably call them experimentals, but
okay.
International themselves call them pre-production.
And it's a serial number 511.
Okay.
Okay.
There was 25 of them made.
Wow.
And this is the only one that was shipped to Kansas.
Really?
And
can we go have a look?
We will.
All right, let's go see it. James, now here's that pre-production F12. Why don't you tell us about this tractor?
Well, this tractor here was advertised in Green Acres, which is our local farm trade paper.
Yep.
Very short ad. World's oldest F12 and telephone number.
That's what the ad said?
That's exactly what the ad said.
Okay, and that caught your interest.
And so curious, I down and looked at it, and they tried to modify it. They'd made a scalloped, halfway covered hoods, and they painted the board, painted the paintbrush 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But I knew it was different, so I got it brought it home, and of course it didn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to, but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it sat for quite a little while. Then I started in on it.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, I did some research and found out there was over 25 made. And the air cleaner is on the opposite side, and that was only for 25 tractors.
Now, how was it difficult to research, James?
On the first 25, the lugs here are 1020 lugs. They didn't have them designed yet. They didn't even have them made.
Okay.
They didn't have an engine for the tractor.
Okay.
It has a Waukesha engine in, which they eventually used the Waukesha engines in about 2000 of the early F12.
Now, how do you go about determining and finding out the history on this thing, that there's only 25 made? Was that a difficult process?
Well, to get an original copy of the early parts or owner's manual and the parts book together, you can learn a lot. Okay.
Now, I know you're very connected with the International Harvester crowd across North America. Did that help in your research on this tractor?
Well, at the time we did this tractor, we didn't have the organization.
Oh, this was before. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And again, you were thinking it's a 1932?
It is. It's definitely 1932. It didn't even have a serial plate on it. It had me a little worried for a while.
Okay.
And I think it was Guy Fay found a list of where the first 25 went.
Okay.
And sure enough, this one was shipped to Joe Corperstein at Nortonville, Kansas. And
it was the only one that came to Kansas?
Yes, the only one come to Kansas. And the man that I bought it from Corperstein, and he told me that Corperstein had used a demonstrator. Well, I couldn't find any connection.
So the guy you bought it from was the original owner?
Well, he wasn't Corperstein. Corperstein had used it for demonstrator. Well, I couldn't find a connection between Corperstein and International. Then I found out that later he was a silent partner. And
wow.
So I bought it. I got the name in there of the guy I bought it from.
Well,
Cast iron deck.
There's what?
Cast iron deck.
Oh yeah, it's got where most 12s have a stamped steel cover. The transmission differential has a separate cast iron on the differential and another cast iron on the transmission.
Okay. Now you were telling me that there's an issue with the gas on these tractors. What I suppose they're using modern gas just is not made. These old tractors.
Well, of course, this tractor probably was originally made for. They used white gas mostly then before the lead.
Yeah.
But the lead worked better.
Okay.
And but then this no lead stuff, alcohol, it's terrible. It's a nightmare.
Right.
On these older tractors.
Okay.
One other thing, this original front wheel.
Original. Okay.
That's what some of them call them dish pad or pipe pad wheels. They're just thin. They wear out.
Yeah. But that's the original front.
It is one of them. It wasn't one on this tractor.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to get that wheel bought there.
Okay.
The fact is, that wheel came out of New York.
All right, James, tell us, we got some more tractors here. Tell us what we're looking at.
Well, shortly after I got the pre-production 511, by word of mouth, I heard about this W12, also number 511.
Okay.
The catch was it's located in New York.
Now, that's a little ways from northeast Kansas, James.
Yes, it was. But
it didn't stop you, though, did it?
I felt like I needed it. I finally scraped up enough money, and then get it home. And there was a collector out here from Jewell County, Kansas, that had bought almost a trailer load of John Deere's.
Okay.
And so we were fortunate enough they slipped this tractor on the trailer load. And
you didn't mind that it was mingling with green?
No, nothing bad happened.
Okay.
And I had to run out in Jewell County to get it then.
Okay.
But I think it figured out 17 cents a mile or something, which
nice.
I could have went back there to get it for that.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And but it's original. It's never been wheels never been cut off. Those original wheels on it
and again,
everything.
You said the serial number is 511.
511.
Wow.
And the serial plate is there, and the serial number is still stamped in the block.
Okay.
I just felt very fortunate to get it.
Well, that's quite a pair here.
The next one here.
Okay.
That is a Orchard 12.
Okay.
Now, it is also hand clutch. Orchard tractors was optional for hand clutch or foot clutch.
Okay.
And there were several options. Some of them even had the smaller little donut front wheels on them.
Okay.
But this is a real nice tractor.
It's beautiful.
I got it from out of Illinois.
Okay.
And it just fits in real nice in my collection, especially when having hand clutch is different.
Mm-hmm. And what's the next tractor we have, Jim?
The next one is a steel wheel Fairway 12.
Fairway 12.
Which is a golf course tractor.
Really?
At the time I restored this, we had a collector's organization thing, we only knew of 9 more steel wheel ones.
Really?
Because most of them come out on rubber.
Okay.
But it's another, these tractors all run.
Okay, James, we're into another shed here, and we've got 3 more red beauties. Why don't you tell us what we're looking at here?
Well, right here at the left is an AV, which is the, I said the little A that grew up. It's the vegetable high clearance A.
Okay.
Very nice running tractor. Had quite a while. I've showed it a lot of times. If they want an unusual tractor or something, that's what I'll take.
Okay.
On down here is a 1939 H.
Okay.
Which we went to great detail and research on that tractor, and we figured it's at least 98% correct for being a 39, the very first one.
Okay. Now tell me the story about the toy Ertl seeing this tractor and.
Well, we don't know what it's a coincidence maybe that we had this tractor with the corn planter on it in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then Ertl come out a year later. Whether it's the connection with this one or not, we don't know. Coincidence, of course.
Well, if I saw a tractor like this, I'd want to make a...
Well, it's not just the corn planter there, the check row planter, all functional to plant check row.
Okay.
The planter had never been used check row before we got it.
Okay.
And the drop plates had been tied up. Jim cleaned them, and he lost track of how much penetrating oil it took to get the fertilizer freed up on them.
Okay.
And it did not come with a wire winder. And I had to advertise for a wire winder, and this is what you wind up the check row wire on here.
Okay.
And I advertised Red Power, and I got 2 answers, one of them an incomplete one and one he thought was complete. And I had to go through Northern Highway to get the wire winder.
Okay.
But it's been a showpiece in this part of the country. They used check row around here back in the horse days.
Okay.
But they pretty well quit check row in this part of the country.
Wow.
And of course, check row is out of question when you go to terraces and modern salt saving devices. But this tractor's been around quite a bit to show. It always draws its share of attention.
I bet it does. Now, what do we got? We got one more in the corner here.
On over here is a BN,
Okay.
which is the narrow version of a B. It's actually the back end is 8 inches closer. It was used primarily in vegetable gardens and sugar beets type like that.
Okay.
This particular tractor came from Pennsylvania, but I found out later we could have got one closer. We didn't know that then.
Well, now you just got an extra little story to tell. It's from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Whereabouts in Pennsylvania did you pick it up?
Oh,
Out
I
east?
want to say Smithsburg, but I don't know if that's right or not.
Okay. Do you take this one out to many shows, James?
I did shortly after I restored it, but then I got other things that was, newer restored. I've been leaning more towards them.
So how do you decide which ones to bring to shows? You just kind of mix it around a little bit, or?
Sometimes I'll ask them at the show if they know what's coming. There's no object in me bringing the same thing someone else is bringing.
Right.
Where I've got a pretty good chance of variety.
Now, what do you get the most requests from people to bring
Well,
out?
this check row planter got quite a few requests when we done it.
Okay.
I got requests right now for the 2 mounted two-way plows for winter shows.
Okay.
So, if I'm able, I'll probably take them.
Okay. Well, you know what, James? I think you are one sharp collector here. I think you're ahead of the game with the plows, collecting these. Wouldn't surprise me if more folks try to get into that down the road. But boy, I've just had a ball here looking at your collection today, and I think we've just scratched the tip of the iceberg too. How many tractors do you own? Were you telling me 100 and?
It's 117, I think, last time I inventoried, but that's changed a little bit.
Yeah, not that we're counting or anything.
But a lot of them we've parted out.
Sure.
Partially planted it.
Right. Well, a labor of love, I can tell, and your attention to detail is fantastic, and pretty cool to be able to work with your son Jim and daughter Betty on your collection here and share your passion. And again, thanks much for having me out, folks, and it's been fantastic.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks again, James. And by the way, you do not look like you're going to be 84 next month, James. You look fantastic, and I hope many great years of tractor shows ahead.